Alright, welcome back, and it's time to continue with the new AMX-40 premium platoon, and today I'll be driving the Vextra 105, a new rally car. Alright, this vehicle looks interesting. Obviously it has a 105mm main cannon, 120 km/h result of speed, which is impressive. Reverse speed is 19 km/h, it weighs 28 tons for crew members, very fast turret rotation speed. However, the armor, as expected, this is a wheeled vehicle, so the armor on this thing is non-existent, very vulnerable to high explosive shells and HESH shells, but this is pretty spacious inside, and AP shells can just over-penetrate, so that's one one advantage that this vehicle has. And let's take this thing for a little ride. Let's see how it will perform. Now, I played a lot of different wheeled vehicles in the game so far to date. The best controls are on the AMX-10 RC. That has basically the best wheeled controls out of any vehicle, and these vehicles can get a little bit tricky to drive around. For example, this vehicle, while it performs really well, you can still mess up, especially with the controls. It doesn't really turn like a normal tank would turn. You have to basically have room for a turn radius. The main cannon has all sorts of different shells. I primarily use a BFSDS shells, and as secondary I have high explosive, but I've seen that this vehicle can equip smoke shells. I don't really know why I would use smoke shells in top tier. I have the other smoke shells that I can use when needed. I would rather have high explosive as secondary ammo. And I believe we also have heat ammo, but I didn't take heat for this vehicle because the AP shells are generally speaking, much better. Now, the vehicle's 105mm main cannon is decent. It's not the best, but you know, at the same time it's not bad. You might struggle to penetrate some vehicles' armors, for example the T-72s, T-64s, vehicles like that. The more modern vehicles might have a tough upper frontal plate. Even the lower plate, sometimes this vehicle does bounce, but overall it's very fast, very maneuverable. So you can take the speed of this vehicle to your advantage. Now, overall, I actually kind of expected this vehicle to feel more like the AMX-10 RC, and I think they might actually have a very similar main gun. For some reason, this vehicle did feel like the AMX-10 RC, but the only difference is this is a tier 9 vehicle, the 10RC is a tier 7 vehicle, I believe. But generally speaking, it does feel like this vehicle is a direct upgrade over the 10RC. Of course, there are differences. The 10RC is a paid premium, this is a big box premium vehicle, and you can obtain this vehicle. Now, I do play the platoon 7 days early, so I did have the chance to test them out on time. Honestly, so far I've been having, and they're definitely good vehicles. Definitely good vehicles. They are definitely not bad. I think I personally like the AMX-40 a lot more than this vehicle, primarily because the AMX-40 seems to be easier to handle, and it does seem to have it doesn't seem to have a better main gun. The AMX-40 has a 120mm main cannon. This has a 105mm main cannon. But it will still it still gets the job done, that's for sure. It's able to punch through most of the enemy vehicles. One thing where this vehicle is lacking besides armor is gun depression. The vehicle is actually kinda tall. If you look at the hull of the vehicle, it will seem like it is a bit taller than usual. A bit taller than the other vehicles that I used, and the turret is located at the back of the vehicle. But as I said before, the armor is non-existent, and high explosive, cash and 80 gems will definitely make short work of the Vextra 105. I like the name of the vehicle though, it sounds futuristic. The two front wheels are actually used for steering, as you can see. Both do turn when you want to turn. Also a thing to keep in mind, because you will need those wheels if you want to escape. And if the wheels are broken, you might not be able to move. The accuracy of the main gun is okay. I would say it's about average, top tier main gun accuracy that we have. One thing that I don't really like is that it doesn't really do a lot. It doesn't really penetrate a lot. Even if it does, for example, it didn't pop the Begleiterpanzer there, which it should have, but it didn't. And well, yeah, no armor. That's what no armor does. No, you by any chance, or should I say, you must not expose the vehicle to any autocannon fire, especially in top tier, because this thing would get shredded. The Begleiterpanzer is able to shred this vehicle without even trying, because this vehicle has pretty much no armor. And that frontal slope, don't let that frontal sloped armor fool, because it still has literally no armor. Anything can go through the armor of this vehicle, so that's one thing to keep in mind while playing the Vextra 105. I feel like I struggled a little bit more with this platoon than with the last couple platoons. I would say it's just bad luck. I would say it's just bad luck. The platoon is so far really decent. I like how it works. They are definitely good vehicles. They're not bad by any chance. And we have captured the base. The reverse speed is decent. The reverse speed is more than enough, actually. 21 km/h will be able to get this vehicle out to safety if needed. Top speed of 120 km/h though, that's interesting. I don't think that I had the chance to go that fast with this vehicle, but it must be nice to have that speed. Acceleration is not too bad. Maneuvering though, one thing I don't like about wheeled vehicles, and this is in general, with the only exception being the AMX-10 RC, is when you have to move around, when you have to rotate the vehicle. Because they're wheels, you have to basically go forward or in reverse. Only the MX-10 RC is able to have neutral steering and rotate all over the place. This vehicle can't do that, unfortunately, so the MX-10 RC does have that advantage. And the MX-10 RC is also 2 tiers lower, so that's one thing to consider as well. Okay, that was the first battle. Not bad. This vehicle definitely is a little bit difficult to handle. I have to say that this vehicle does feel a little bit more difficult to play, but that's fine. Let's go to the next battle now. This thing can be a good sniper. I feel like this vehicle and most of the wheel vehicles in general are very good snipers. They have a stabilized main gun. Obviously, it must have a stabilized main gun in tier 9. But because you can't really move that much because of the wheels, I think sniping is still the right thing to do with these vehicles. Background vehicle behind cover also has pretty much no armor, so you have to take that into account as well. So they are definitely vehicles meant for sniping and for being sneaky. Rushing forwards, well, you can go and capture zones and stuff, but you have to keep in mind that anything coming your way will probably be a one-shot to this vehicle, because again, no armor and very vulnerable, a hull, very easy to destroy the Vextra 105. And I just noticed this vehicle does have a very interesting front. It looks nice. Looks kind of futuristic. I like it. Although, again, as I mentioned, for me in wheeled vehicle controls, with the only exception being pretty much the MX-10 RC. Yeah, the wheeled vehicle controls are not my favorite, but it will work. If you like to play wheeled vehicles, then this Vextra should be quite decent. In my case, I prefer the old school tracks on my tanks, or on most of the vehicles. I don't really know how this vehicle is classified. I think it could be a light tank with wheels or something like that. We'll have to double check that, but it does feel like a light tank, and I think it might actually be a light tank based on how it works. The ammo is actually stored at the back, so that's where you want to shoot this thing if you want to destroy it, and in the turret, at the back of the turret to be more accurate. The reloads, I feel like the reload could be a little bit faster, but honestly for what it is more than enough. No complaints from me. And the spalling from the APFSDS shell is pretty decent, definitely doing good damage. Is also accurate as we are able to see. We're just honestly going to get the job done without much of a problem. Well, let's see if I manage to destroy a couple more vehicles. So that's pretty much my experience with the Vextra 105. It's a decent vehicle. I enjoy this thing so far. I will be playing it a lot more, obviously. After all, I did get the vehicle a little bit early on, so might as well play it. Why not? It's after all fun to drive a vehicle that's not currently exactly available to get. Okay, well, so that would be it for the Vextra 105. Tell me what you think about this vehicle in the comments down below, and with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe, and with that being said, stay safe, as always, I'll see you next time.